What's up, Ozos and Kenobzos? I was working on that for like 3 hours, but I didn't get anywhere with it.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
tell.
Um, yeah,
never do
thank
that
you,
again.
thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna go home and rethink my life.
That's a good idea.
Um, Thank you. I'll do my best. We're back to talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 3. We're gonna go and take a look at the episode at large, talk about where we think things are going, maybe try to answer some questions, talk about our favorite parts, parts that we didn't like, which to me was probably zero personally, but
Yeah.
we'll cross that bridge when we get there. As always, same group of jabrones, myself, Zach, joined again then by Caleb and
Hello there.
Bailey, back at it in your lives. I was talking very staccato there for a second, like Eminem rapping, where it's like
I'm
just like a little
spaghetti.
bit of a pause. Yeah, a little bit of a pause between every word. But yeah, all right. So episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Before we do that, I think it's probably I don't know what if you guys had to like put a score on the show so far out of 10, or let's say out of 100, what would you
Hmm.
guys what would you guys give it personally?
I would
mm,
give it like 8 out of 10 right now. Like
yeah.
it absolutely could fluctuate, but it's still like that's good.
Yeah.
Um Honestly, the Rotten Tomatoes score right now was sitting at like 87%, and I'm like, yeah, that seems about right for me. Like just the right zone so far.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I couldn't give it less than an 8 personally.
Right.
8 or 9. I mean, I think you can't really fully judge something until it finishes, and like a 10 is like rarefied air. Like, but I mean, if it keeps going as good as it is, because I think the episodes have gotten progressively better as they've gone along. But
Hmm.
certainly, I would be in that 8-9 range out of 10 at the moment.
Big time. Yeah.
Now, the reason that
Oh,
I brought it up, though, is of course because the infamous Rotten Tomatoes it has like an 80 something, I think, with critics, and then like, of course, the
audience score is at like 56, but
yeah,
Really? I figured
you
it.
clearly been
That's
clearly
weird.
been review bombed, because there was
yes.
I think I read somewhere, and maybe Bailey retweeted it, but I think I
Hmm.
saw somebody say like before Star Wars account and before Ewan McGregor came out and were like, "Hey, don't be racist." The audience score was like at a 75 or an 80, and then Star Wars and Obi-Wan came out and were like, "Hey, if you're racist, you're not really a Star Wars fan." And then it like almost immediately after that it started going down.
Yep.
Um, so
Racists. Gotta love it.
yeah, so I think it's probably if you just go off that score, it might be the lowest rated Star Wars TV show there is. I don't know what Book of Boba Fett was sitting at, but I think this is maybe even lower than that as far as like audience. Yeah, it's even lower than Book of Boba Fett, which I think was previously the lowest rated Star Wars show for what that's
Yeah.
worth.
Hmm.
And I certainly think this is better than the Book of Boba Fett in my opinion. But
Hmm.
it's just that's just some dumb shit.
It goes to show how the state of the Star Wars fandom now is you can literally just be the Star Wars account and you don't even call anyone out specifically. You could just say, "Hey, racism is bad." And a bunch of these Star Wars fans would be like, "Hey, stop talking about me."
Yeah, I
And
feel
they'd be like,
attacked.
yeah, it'd be like, "We didn't say anything about you. We just said racism is bad." And they'd be like, "Yeah, well, the shoe if the shoe fits, wear it." And I'm gonna wear it, and that's exactly what's happening.
And then a lot of them like try to find like these piddly excuses for their criticism that I just don't think ever really hold up,
No.
you know.
See,
But
it's a fine line because there are these people who are like, oh, if you critique a Star Wars character, you're gonna get called racist, which is not really the case. It just depends on your critique. If your critique is, oh, they inserted this character who's a black woman to earn woke points, that is definitely a little bit more on the racist end of the spectrum. But if you're critiquing the writing of the character, or if you think the act criticism. So I think a lot of them are like, I just like calling things woke when they scare me and are different from me. So I don't know. It's all stupid. I hate Star Wars fans, and I can say
Don't even
that.
give them the credit of fans. They're not fans.
Yeah.
They're called the fandom menace for a reason. They're not.
Well, let's
true.
let's get the move on. Then
Let's talk
what
about the good stuff.
Get the raw
that-
bowling. Let's go.
stuff here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 3, personally my favorite episode of the 3 so far. I'll do a
Same.
quick little summary, and then we can kind of get into it, ask some questions and things like that. So to summarize the episode, it opens up with Obi-Wan Kenobi again trying to commune with Qui-Gon Jinn, but not getting anything, or at least anything that he would want in this case. We do get some Yoda dialogue there. There's some Anakin dialogue there. There is a little bit of Qui-Gon telling him to train the boy, but it's clearly not what he is reaching for. Just more of his failures coming to the surface. Obi-Wan and Leia have just ran away from Daiyu and end up on the mining planet of Mapuzo. The two are supposed to meet up with a contact there, but when they get to the destination, the contact is not in sight. So Leia hitches a ride with Freck, some ugly, thin blue line, God bless the Empire mole narc guy. Surprise to no one, Freck narcs on Ben and Leia. The stormtrooper then attack them. One of them falls and gets sawed in
that
half
was
by a
insane.
gate.
Yeah, that laser gate.
Yeah, and then last
Now the
minute,
question is he dead though? Because we've seen people suffer worse and come back from that.
He's getting cybernetics, and he's.
I
Gonna
think he's
season 2
That
villain Kenobi.
stormtrooper will become Snoke. I'm calling it now.
I'm kind of feeling like they just left his ass there in the desert and they did not get to him in time.
Yeah, no, they didn't even check.
It's last second savior comes through their contact. Tala, an undercover Imperial agent, bails them out, saves them. Reva has managed to use these drones, these probes, in that case, to track Obi-Wan to Mapuzo. The Inquisitors and Darth Vader then descend on the planet. Once Obi-Wan senses Vader, he tells Tala to help Leia escape, and that he'll lure Vader off and distract him. Vader just slaughters a bunch of randos and then makes Obi-Wan Kenobi look like a washed old man. Kind of stalks him through this deserty looking mining area, tosses him on the barbecue for a little bit, kind of brutally cooks him there, but he is fortunately again bailed out by Tala, who boosts him, says they gotta get to Jabim, the planet, but in the process of
really
Tala
Jabim?
I think so, Jabim or Jabim.
Just sounds funny.
Something, yeah. Not as funny as Freck, by the
Right.
way. But in the process of Tala saving Obi-Wan, she leaves Leia behind, at Leia's behest, I guess. But Reva manages to track down Leia and presumably snatches her up. And that is where the episode ends. I think that covers the most of it. Like I said, it's been my favorite episode so far. It does a lot, and it does it very, very well here. It's obviously focusing on the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin and how that had kind of fallen apart and how they are, at this point that they are now. But what'd you guys think?
I liked it. We had talked a little bit about it. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I was maybe a little underwhelmed with him pulling out his lightsaber for the first time. It's not how I envisioned it happening. It's just kind of like, ooh, let me whip it out real quick and then not really use it.
I do agree with that. I was kind of thinking the lightsaber being pulled out would have been super significant, but at the same time, I kind of liked it because the lightsaber being pulled out is out of fear. And you know, I don't think we've ever really seen Obi-Wan pull out a lightsaber in fear before or anything like that. And even then, we got to see like from his point of view how rusty he is because he pulls it out in this dark space and kind of uses it more as like a flashlight to guide his way, but it kind of hinders his vision in that moment. It really shows that like he is disconnected from like the Jedi teaching, from the Force, and he gets, you know, he gets his ass handed to him because of it. Like he's been so out of touch. I I think it was fine. I think him powering up a lightsaber maybe on round 2 whenever we get there will be more significant. But
Yeah,
as of right now, I kind of dig it.
I was hoping for maybe a rusty fight with an Inquisitor, maybe once or twice, and then once he gets his bearings straight and he's a little bit less rusty, then we have that inevitable Vader fight. But I was wanting their connection, the Obi-Wan Vader connection, to just be a little bit more oomph. Like I do like what happened. I liked how you said the fear and something that, you know, that's not something we've seen in Obi-Wan before, and I liked that, but I just envisioned it a lot more differently, and I was maybe had my hopes up for it going that way, I guess. I don't know.
Right. It kind of blindsided all of us. Which,
Yeah,
you
I did
know,
not
at
expect
the same time
for the Vader interaction that early, I guess.
Right. And like I was going to say, at the same time, it blindsides us, but it also blindsides Kenobi. It puts us in his shoes, and he truly is an audience surrogate in that moment. And
Yeah.
I liked it, and I kind of enjoy whenever a fight is just very uncoordinated and kind of stumbling about and clumsy. It just shows like the power level, the dynamic has absolutely shifted. And it adds that tension, even though we know he's gonna be okay because the 4th movie exists. It's still like, how is this? How's he gonna pull through this? Because it seems like dire, and he is going to die. You know.
Yeah, I agree with what Bailey was saying, because we did talk in the last one about how like we were hoping it was going to be like epic, you know, just like, oh yeah, here he is, Obi-Wan Jedi Knight back at it again. But like kind of what one of the through lines of the show has been is there's like Obi-Wan's dead, right? I mean not literally, but like it's been Kenobi now. So that was I think we could still see Obi-Wan's lightsaber reveal, because I think what we saw here was in Kenobi using the lightsaber, right? The scared, broken, PTSD'd, you know, fearful Kenobi, right? And I think eventually, to what you guys were saying, I think we are going to get a point where Obi-Wan is back, and he is going to break out that lightsaber, and he is going to be noticeably more confident. Because even with this Vader interaction, which was like friggin' hardcore, like he was scary. Just like it's like, how is he moving and this quickly and quietly? And there's a part there where Obi-Wan's like holding the lightsaber with 2 hands, and like Vader's just like toying with him. He's just like one hand just chopping at him, just like duh, duh, duh. And it's just like you can see like this is the last thing in the world Obi-Wan, like it feels unfamiliar to him. So yeah, I thought it was cool. It wasn't what I was expecting, obviously, based off what we had talked, but I did like this reveal here with his lightsaber.
Now, my question is, are we seeing Vader again? Like, I think it's almost inevitable, but at the same time, this could absolutely be like the end of it. It could be like Rebels, where he shows up for like this big brawl, and then he's just never seen again the rest of the series, and they just kind of call it that.
I feel like we got to get more of them. I mean, maybe just like, I think it would feel weird if we didn't, but then also like they've been hyping, you know, Hayden Christensen's back. Hayden Christensen, you know, he's back, he's back,
Exactly.
he's back, he's back. So like I feel like and they've used him a lot earlier on, and honestly a lot more than I thought they would have at this point in the show. Like I was kind of expecting him to be a episode 5, 6 kind of thing, but I think at this point, you know, if you've got it, use it.
Yeah. which
So
worries me because I'm like, I just hope they didn't play their hand and give us like the most epic thing too early, because now I'm sitting here like, where do they have to go from here? Like, how
yeah,
do you top this unless you just straight up give us Mustafar Fight 2.0 all over
yeah.
again?
Yeah, I'm certainly curious to see where it does end up. So that was kind of like the big end of the episode was the big fight there. At the beginning, there's obviously they're on this new planet here. You get the Tala debut. You also get Freck, the old MAGA mole there. Um, what was I going to say at that point? Oh, and that ultimately leads us to another cool part that I kind of just briefly mentioned there in regards to Tala. She's kind of like early rebellion there, and you get to learn of the path. It almost kind of sounds like I don't know, like an underground railroad for Jedi and Force sensitives. And then, of course, in that point, you also get Quinlan Voss mentioned, which is really cool
Oh yeah.
if you're a Quinlan Voss fan.
Now, we all know O'Shea Jackson Jr. is going to be in this series, and a lot of people are already speculating that in the next episode we may get the reveal of him playing Quinlan Voss, which I think would be pretty cool casting. What about you?
I don't even know who
Yeah,
that guy is, but I'm down to see Quinlan
it's
Voss.
Ice Cube's son.
That still doesn't help me.
Eh.
What's his name? I'll look him up.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. Yeah, I would. I mean, I like him. I think he's a good actor. He's been in a couple things in a couple movies that I've really enjoyed. I think he's really good. I had seen some people online say that they feel like Quinlan Voss is a little closer to like, I don't know, like Native American,
Yeah, I
perhaps.
heard Native American
I've
too.
seen that too. I've seen that.
So I don't know what he'll end up being. I don't know. That feels like I don't know. I almost feel like they could have like. I kind of feel like the Quinlan Voss of it all is just like a kind of a throwaway name. Here.
Yeah, I didn't. I
Right.
didn't. When I heard that, I wasn't being like, "Oh, are we going to see Quinlan Voss in the show?"
I certainly think Quinlan Voss at this point that though now I think Quinlan Voss will probably show up somewhere else
Yeah.
later down the line. I did see a theory perhaps that it was Quinlan Voss who boosted Grogu. That he was the one who pulled Grogu. My one thing with that is they
Or
make
Mace
it
Windu
sound
theory's
like
better.
well, yes, but they make it sound like the like Grogu was a pretty top secret thing,
Right. Yeah.
in there, and Quinlan Voss was kind of famously
Never around.
well, and kind of like almost an outcast. Like he was similar to like Qui-Gon in that regards, where he kind of like butt heads with the Order. He wasn't really a traditional Jedi.
Kind of did his own
Doesn't-
thing.
Yeah, he doesn't really feel like
Right.
a guy that you would give top secret clearance to.
Yeah, that does seem a little out of place there, maybe. But I mean, Order 66. Maybe he runs into Yoda or Mace Windu or something. He's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
here's a big secret. We need you to get this guy out." I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean it's certainly possible.
yeah,
But I thought that was a really cool mention, and
Yeah, I
you can
did
also
too.
kind of see like Obi-Wan at first is like really excited about it, but then like Ewan McGregor's just killing it in the show because then he's super excited, and then you can kind of see that like realization set in where he's like, oh, I've been doing nothing for 10 years, and there's all these other Jedi who have been like actively trying to make a difference. Like you can almost kind of feel like regret from
Yeah.
him
yeah.
just in his face.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Was there anything else that really popped in here? I thought at first, this is just a little thing. I thought Freck was Seth Rogen at first, but
Same.
it's not. It's not Seth Rogen.
It's funny.
It's Zach
Um,
Braff.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But that was one thing. What about when Vader snaps that guy's neck?
Oh, that was brutal.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was a
No
child,
hesitation.
I
Yeah.
think.
It's like, my God. just this was a very brutal episode.
Yeah.
You get the guy sliced in half with
and
the gate,
snapping the neck.
you get the snapped neck. The guy gets choked out right before that, and then Obi-Wan gets put on the barbecue. Like,
yeah, getting burned alive.
he drags
They're
him into
continuing the tradition of each episode. Obi-Wan gets brutally roasted. First it was Owen, then it was Leia, now it's Vader.
I mean, yeah, but that scene was tough. Like, I liked, and a lot of people have been putting it on Twitter, so I don't want to like take credit for it. But like the part in the episode, like where he's cooking Obi-Wan, like you can see the fire reflecting in the eyes of his helmet there.
How
And it's just
satisfied
like,
do you think he
ooh.
was?
Oh, you knew that's it. And like
That was a crowning moment for Vader.
He is
Yeah.
he is the most petty, dramatic fucker in the
he
galaxy.
really is. He really is. That reminds me of
Drama
that
queen.
that bit where people point out that like at the end of Rogue One, like his cape is flowing and
Flowing
they're
in
like,
the
there's
wind.
no wind. There's no wind in the vacuum of space, so he's using the Force to make his cape flow.
I've seen that before. That's funny. But
yeah,
another thing I wanted to ask you, and kind of on the lines, maybe he was just being dramatic and making a show out of it and just toying with Obi-Wan, but like, why didn't he just extinguish the fire like he did the first time?
The fire on the ground.
Yeah, he
Oh,
extinguished
right,
it with the
because
Force.
it gets
Oh.
ignited again.
That's right.
Yeah.
He could have.
I think he was.
Yeah, I think he was probably just messing with it. But I thought about that like immediately.
Yeah.
It was like you could have
That's
just
true.
washed that away.
Ooh. We're jumping all the way to the cool stuff at the end. Let's go back and talk about that one line that Obi-Wan says where Leia asks him, "Are you my real father?" And he says, "I wish I was."
I don't remember that.
You don't
that's
remember
when, That's when they have the little goof up in front of the stormtroopers.
Oh,
that? Right.
And she asks like, you knew. I think she says you knew my mother. And then she asks if he was her real father.
And he's
Yeah,
like, "I wish I was." And now a bunch of people on Twitter are like, oh, "Obi-Wan was in love with Padme," and it's like,
Obi-Wan
No.
was slaying Padme behind Anakin's back.
I've heard that the original draft of Revenge of the Sith has a much more love triangle to it.
What? That's so
right.
weird.
Yeah,
it
but
was
obviously
like,
that
it
didn't
wasn't
get
even like
through.
really a love triangle. It was like Palpatine was like telling Anakin like, "I think Obi-Wan wants Padme for himself," and Anakin's like, "No, my girlfriend or my wife or whatever they are."
Yeah, it does fuel a lot of the internet fan theory speculation there, but that does also remind me, and I can't believe I freaking didn't mention this. So I'm glad you
Oh,
brought
the-
it. I'm glad you brought
brother
it back
reveal?
to here. Yeah, Obi-Wan freaking says he's got a brother, which is a
Yeah.
pretty big reveal.
It is pretty
yeah.
big. But I wonder though. I mean, if he had a brother, you'd think the Jedi would have taken him if he had any potential.
Right. So I was wondering, it's probably not a twin brother, so it would have to be like an older brother.
Well, he says he remembers a baby. That's what he
Right.
remembers, which is weird because Obi-Wan canonically was taken at 6 months old.
6, yeah. So maybe it would have to be a twin then. But
It would either be a twin or like a slightly older brother because he remembers them being a baby.
Yeah.
Unless they're just changing the canon to like Obi-Wan was like 3 and
I feel like because he said he had pretty good memory, or not pretty good memory, but he mentioned things about I think both of his parents, like hands and stuff. Like if you're remembering a baby and hands, you were probably like a year or two. Had to be.
something like that.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the brother's gonna become anything.
I hope so.
I hope so too,
somehow.
but I feel like it's not. But that'd be cool.
There was,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you guys had ever heard of this, but apparently, like pre Disney canon, it was at the very least implied. Maybe it was like, I think it was the novelization of The Last Jedi. It says that Obi-Wan's brother is Uncle Owen, or at least it's implied
Oh, I have
that Owen is his brother.
Right.
yeah, very
Which
very
at
early
this point is
drafts.
obviously it's obviously
You said Last Jedi. Did you
You
mean
can't-
Did you mean the Last Jedi?
Did I say Last Jedi?
Yeah.
I meant Return of the Jedi.
Okay, yeah. I was like, but yeah, I also read that as well about the Uncle Owen thing.
Which,
Would
I mean,
be
they're
weird.
about the same age, but at this point,
At this
like
point, it
in
doesn't
the
make sense.
canon,
Yeah.
it wouldn't make any sense at all. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Certainly very interesting. Do you guys have anything else? I had a few questions. We answered some of them, but do you guys have anything?
Not off the top of my head.
I mean, like, the only other thing I'd like to add is if you're listening to this podcast and you're racist, stop.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
Yeah, man.
There.
Good job, Bailey.
You're welcome.
Racism over.
I've
He
ended
ended it all.
racism single-handedly.
Good job, Bailey. You got to have your own holiday, June 5th, Bailey Day. From
There we
this
go.
moment.
Jesus.
So a couple things. We kind of talked a little bit about the lightsaber reveal. We talked about Vader. I was kind of surprised that we got as much Vader as we have so far.
Yeah.
Let's with Vader and it being that big in Episode 3. How are we vibing with like the Inquisitors as a whole? Like they seem far less relevant if Vader is going to be in it.
I was wondering that too, because like we haven't really seen any of them fight besides Reva, or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And obviously we know that Fifth Brother and Grand Inquisitor, they are in Rebels, so it's like they're not gonna fight and die. You know, like what are they really gonna do for sure? I feel like I could see them killing off that other new one, that female one with the tentacles.
Yeah, the one that...
I can't remember.
Is she the fourth sister?
Something
I
like
think
that.
so.
Yeah, this is like her first
I
appearance.
I literally tried to look up like her name somewhere.
I
and
did
it's
too. I couldn't find it.
nowhere.
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah.
find it. Yeah, so that's like her first appearance. I could see them. They needed to make somebody that they could gack off. You know, they
Yeah,
got to kill
that's-
somebody.
That's the vibe I get. So
Yeah,
I-
I bet
think
they
the-
kill Reva too.
Well, I was gonna then ask, do you think Reva makes it out of the show alive?
No.
I doubt it. I think
I-
Vader or the Grand Inquisitor are gonna do her in.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do too.
I got a hard time thinking of a way where she does make it out alive, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I don't know. I feel like she's a good character. I feel like there's more.
I
to
think she's a good
explore
character
there.
too. And I mean,
Yeah.
maybe this could tie into it, but I don't know if it's confirmed. But there's like pretty strong evidence of season 2. Yeah.
I believe someone has mentioned that season 2 is definitely on the docket right now.
Yeah.
But I don't
And
think it's been 100% greenlit.
I'll be completely honest. As much as I love the show, I don't know that I think we need a 2-season Kenobi. I was totally down and okay with
Yeah.
this being a 1 season and done.
Yeah,
I kind of got
we'll
that vibe,
see.
and it's very much the same thing with like Loki, where they kind of sort of advertised it as a limited series, like a one and done kind of thing, and then we get to the end of it, and it's like season 2, surprise. So I'm wondering if they're trying the same thing with Kenobi, like
Yeah.
maybe they will leave us on a cliffhanger or something like that.
Yeah, obviously we'll have to see where it comes, but I definitely agree with Caleb. Like it feels like this should just be a one and done thing.
Because you can't keep taking Obi-Wan off Tatooine. Like,
Right.
Maybe they use this to like backdoor something. Like maybe Reva does survive, or maybe this is like a way to get a Quinlan show, which feels like a bit of a stretch. But there's you know,
I'm
I don't
sorry. I'm thinking about, there was a tweet this morning that absolutely gobsmacked me because I was like, I do not want that if this is real, and it wasn't real. But someone basically said, just leaked, the episode 4 of Kenobi is titled "The Birth of the Mandalorian," and I went, oh god damn it, no. And then I went to the comments and they're like, guys, this is just a joke, please calm down. I was like, god, you're playing with fire here. So
yeah.
dangerous.
I don't know.
we get an episode about Din Djarin learning how to fly with a jetpack.
I would love to see that.
The very far away from the microphone, like, god, I would love to see that, honestly. God, oh.
I was popping my back there. I had a couple other questions. One was just maybe more of a comment than anything else. Little nitpick thing here. How and I assume there's probably a very easy answer to this, but the first time I watched the episode, I was like, how did Reva and Tala not cross paths in that tunnel?
Yeah, yeah, I kind of thought that
Pr-
too.
presumably,
Right?
Reva maybe just like could like force sense where it ended, and she just like went a different way. But and we don't see much of the tunnel. I don't know. I was just kind of like, did they not cross paths? Like, when did this happen?
I I do think the implication is that she saw the tunnel and immediately assumed that leads to the nearest spaceport. So
Yeah,
let me get over there first,
it's
and that's
probably
what
true.
happened. So
probably true,
or the tunnels probably have a bunch of different interconnecting systems,
Yeah.
and Talo probably was just like, "Oh, let me just pop over this way and see if
hmm
maybe that's where Kenobi is," and
Uh,
lo and behold, there he was.
another question that I had was, were we kind of was anybody at least a little bummed with the spy? Like, was anybody like, because we were kind of like,
Oh,
who's it
and he
gonna
was
be?
just
Is it
like
gonna?
killed, right?
Well, okay, well there was that guy. I kind of mostly just meant
Oh, Talia.
Like meeting up with
because she
Tala.
was the
Right.
contact.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't hate the character Talia, but I was really, I mean, maybe we built it up too much, a little bit. But I was expecting something else. Yeah.
I was expecting someone bigger. Um, I didn't know if
I'm
it was going to be
I'm
huge,
fine
huge, but no, I was.
with it.
I really like her. She's
Yeah.
also in Game of Thrones, and she's really good in Game of Thrones too.
Yeah, she
Tala's
seems fine.
actress.
You know
So
what? You know what really disappointed me was Leia introduces Obi-Wan to Freck and
Hello
says, "Say hello, father," and he only says hello.
I know.
Yep.
That was gonna. That was my other question: is will we get a hello there because we were so close?
They did that on purpose. They did.
They're just jerking us around, man.
100%. They
They're like,
know.
this will
dare
cause
they.
waves in the meme Star Wars universe. Like,
I was if you had literally just added the word there in that moment,
Everybody
I
would've
guarantee
screamed.
all of the Star Wars fans who are review bombing it right now would have rescinded their reviews and said this is the greatest show ever and this is the greatest episode of any show that has ever existed. I guarantee.
I need it. Yeah, no, I was. It was such a tease. I think I sent.
Yeah.
I think I sent Caleb a meme where it was his father say hello, and he says hello, and then it cuts to director Krennic, and he's like, "We were on the verge of greatness.
We were this
We were
close.
this close." God damn. A couple of other fast fire questions there. Feels like it's impossible that Vader meets Leia. What do you think?
well, she in 4 kind of makes it seem like they've had a past dealings, perhaps.
Or she's at least familiar with him.
Yeah,
That's
she's
true.
at least familiar
Yeah.
with him
Right.
on a maybe more political
fair.
level.
Which
Yeah.
is probably what's going to happen is I think Reva is going to take Leia to Vader. And because she's not really like tapped in or in tune with the Force, he's not really going to sense anything from her. He's
Yeah,
just
probably
going to
not.
assume like this is just, a politician's
like-
daughter.
That just would be tough. Like, yeah, maybe.
I don't
It'd
want
be-
them to outright meet. I'll say that.
I don't want
No.
them to meet either.
Yeah,
I don't
that would be
either.
a little too close there.
Yeah, I get that vibe.
In your head canon, what do you think Obi-Wan's brother is doing? I want Obi-Wan's brother to be a chef. Like kind of I want him to have his own sort of like Dexter's Diner thing.
Oh,
Because Obi-Wan kind of seems like a low-key foodie, and it just makes me
Right.
happy to think that his like maybe at some point they've met and like Obi-Wan just like ate at his brother's diner and just didn't know, and then just like went about his business fighting the Clone Wars or something.
Ewan McGregor played a set of twins in that Fargo show, and one of them was like really rich and well off, and the other one was kind of like a bum and had nothing going for him. And I was like, maybe like Obi-Wan for a time had things going well for him, but now he's the bum and everything. So
That's true.
he could do the twin brother thing again.
That's good.
a
That's
wealthy
good pull.
wealthy twin brother. Interesting. I
Yeah.
think that'd be fun.
That would be fun. Any
Oh
Uh-oh.
no! Wait, you know, it'd be even more drastic than that.
Let's hear it.
What if his brother is like a top commanding officer of the Empire?
Yeah,
Oh shit, that'd be
just an
fun.
imperial bootlicker.
Right? Like maybe he actually seeks out his family's help only to learn that they're a bunch of imperialist bastards.
Yeah, they're Imperial diehards.
Did you? I'm sure you guys knew this. This is probably nothing new. Do you know what Obi-Wan's home planet is called?
I do not know
Off the
what
top
is...
of my head now.
No. It's called Stewjon, and apparently George Lucas named it after John Stewart, the who did the late night political show or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, John Stewart. It's just called
Stewjon?
Stewjon.
That's weird. That's
Stewjon.
funny.
Yeah, I thought that's a little corny, but
So
still fun.
Kenobi is technically a Stewjonian.
A Stewjonian,
Yes.
yeah.
Or a Stewjonite.
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 Yeah, I don't know. Any cameo predictions, if any?
I mean, I maybe we've already said this a little bit, but I mean, how likely are we that how likely are we? I can't even freaking speak. Qui-Gon Jinn.
I think it's likely at the
Yeah,
end.
how likely are
think
we to
so.
expect that? Yeah, I think so too. That's probably
He's
the
I'd
big-
reaching out to him, and it's
I'd
almost
heard-
inevitable. He's going to connect to the Force through Qui-Gon, and he's going to basically get his mojo back. My cameo that I feel less and less likely is going to happen is Commander Cody.
I still think a
'cause-
clone could happen somehow.
A clone of some form, yes.
Cody,
but
yeah, maybe not, but
because of the whole Bad Batch trailer kind of sort of confirming that Cody is going to be in that second season, I'm kind of like, I think they're saving his story for that,
Yeah.
which is disappointing to me, but whatever.
Do you think it would be a Force Ghost Qui-Gon, or do you think you just get voices? Because I had heard somewhere that like Liam Neeson was all like refusing to do live action television, but then he showed up in Atlanta and was
Right.
basically just like racist Liam Neeson.
right.
So, do you think you would just get voice, or do you think we get
I think we could
Force
get
Ghost?
full. I have not heard anything about this not wanting to do live action stuff,
Yeah,
but
but this is big shit too.
this is big shit, and I had heard in past interviews that he is more than down to do Star Wars again. I've heard him say that in interviews.
I
So,
guess
He's already getting voice cameo
Yeah.
stuff in the Tales of the Jedi thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
so-
So I mean, yeah, I think we could get Force Ghost because I mean, they in a way teased that at the end of Episode 3 all those years ago. We're like, ooh, Force Ghost Qui-Gon. And I feel like we got to see that. I feel like
And
there's
they
a
did
whole
that in the
Clone Wars
recap.
arc.
The whole recap of like
Uh-huh.
Yoda being like, "Teach you to commune with him, I will."
Yeah.
They ended it with that,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's what it's kind of building towards.
Yeah. And there's that whole Yoda Clone Wars arc where he essentially learns that stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm still holding my breath, and I'm very, very skeptical that it'll happen. But I'm replaying Fallen Order, so I would shit if Cal Kestis showed up, man.
Cal, I'd be okay with
Absolutely.
Quinlan too. I know.
Yeah.
I feel like he
would
won't be
freak.
beyond the name drop though.
Yeah, I kind of agree. So, been a fun show so far. Only 3 episodes left this
Sadly.
season. Maybe a second
Right.
season. But we'll stay on top of those and talk about those as they come out.
Yeah.
The end on Obi-Wan. We did have one other thing, though, that we were going to try to do, and maybe this is a disaster. I kind of had a hard time with it. But also
Same.
coming out this week is season 3 of The Boys, and we're all at different stages of having watched it so far. Caleb, of course, is all the way done, or all the way caught up. I'm one episode in. Bailey says yet to start it. So instead of talking about the show itself, or at least new season, as fans of Boys, we wanted to do something The Boys related. Cast The Boys, but since this is mostly an Obi-Wan episode, the parameters was that you could only recast characters with actors that have been in Star Wars. So it kind of limits your pool there on that. So we were going to try to recast The Boys. Oh, Bailey, did you cheat? Oh, no.
No, I didn't cheat with that. I just kind of, well, I don't know. Maybe I did it wrong. I just chose Star Wars characters.
Oh, well, I guess you could kind of trick do their actors instead, then, right?
That's how I was just doing it off the actors. That yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, some of them are voice actors only, or have never actually had a portrayal on screen.
Well, that's fair.
We'll
Fuck
roll
it.
with
We'll
it.
figure it out. We'll roll with it.
We'll
We were
roll with it.
supposed to do. We were supposed to do Huey, Butcher, Starlight, Homelander. That was the four that we were all supposed to do.
Yep.
And then we were supposed to get two of our choice. You could pick two characters from the boys and then do that there. So, do we just want to work down that order? We can just kind of rapid fire.
Yeah.
On a lot of
Yeah.
these. So we can start with our Hueys here.
Huey.
I'll get mine out of the way.
Let's go.
Go for it.
So I chose the most Huey of all Star Wars characters, and that is Finn. I think Finn,
Wait,
just
Finn?
John
Yeah.
Boyega.
Yeah, I chose John
John
Boyega.
Boyega.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah, no,
guys.
I was gonna start mine off by saying I know most Star Wars fans won't like what I'm about to do here, but I'm gonna switch
Oh.
the race a little bit. I know Huey's not black, but I thought John Boyega could probably do it.
Well, exactly. Like that hero who just kind of has to stumble into it and freaks out at everything, but
Yes.
still
Yeah.
manages
Yeah.
to be badass.
That's the exact vibe I got. I thought that they mirrored that pretty well.
Oh, yeah,
And
it's
also
perfect.
like even the TV version of Huey is not like comic book accurate, because comic book accurate Huey is like, I think he's Scottish and he's short and bald and ugly.
Yeah.
And then Huey in the TV show is like 6
Nerd.
foot, handsome, nerd,
Yeah.
American. So it's So
That's
I tried not.
interesting.
I didn't go straight connect there. My on all of these, I have John Boyega as a different character. um, my Huey was Alden Ehrenreich, Han Solo.
I also thought about that. I considered that.
I figured that he's about the same age as the guy who plays Huey now. So yeah, I could see it work. Did you ever watch that Hail Caesar movie?
Yes.
Heard of it.
I
yeah.
didn't really like that movie, but he was kind of
Eh.
a goofier character in there, from what I remember. So I think he could play similar to it. But again, the comic book Huey is a little bit more grim than the movie or the TV version. So I thought that could work.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Kool-Aid Man. Next we got Butcher. I got Butcher
Good
here.
old Butch.
Right.
This is where I did my John Boyega.
Oh, you did your
as-
John
as-
Boyega here.
As Butch, that's so weird.
Now I almost
It's
did.
a strange
I almost
choice,
did
yeah.
Joel Edgerton. Uncle
Okay.
O.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because he's from New Zealand, and I think the guy Carl Urban who plays Butcher now I think he's either from Australia or New Zealand.
I
But
got Go ahead.
comic book Butcher is British, and John Boyega's British, and British people just have a really good. They just do really good at throwing the C bomb around, and that's a pretty famous word for Butcher. So. And he's a great actor. It would maybe be a little bit of a stretch because I don't know. I haven't seen him in anything where he has like that hard, crazy edge, but I'm confident that he could do it. So that was my Butcher pick, mostly just because he's British and I like John Boyega.
My Butch pick, I want to say there's a good chance Bailey might have picked this person too, but I went with Andy Serkis, Snoke.
Ooh, I did not though.
No, okay.
Mm.
I thought maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I think the dude could do it. Like obviously he's typically like,
Oh, yeah.
a mocap green screen, but I mean, he was the person that comes to mind when I think of him, the bad guy from Pink Panther, Black Panther. What's that guy's
Oh
name?
yeah, Claw.
Claw.
Is
Yeah,
that
I don't know. That's Andy
something like
Serkis,
that?
right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Andy
I don't know.
Serkis.
I just got a Billy Butcher vibe from him whenever I saw him, but I think Andy Serkis
He's
could do it.
also Alfred in the new Batman, and like
Alfred in the Batman.
the beard fits at least.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he
Caesar.
look wise is too far off. I think he could pull
No.
it off.
Right. Well, my look wise for Butcher is definitely a little different, considering that I set the boys in the Star Wars universe. I decided to actually gender bend my Butcher, and I went with just Asajj Ventress. I don't know. I just was like, I could see Asajj Ventress being that kind of like vengeful, let's go kill all of these powerful people who have done us wrong kind of characters,
Yeah.
as well as being, a good guy and a bad guy at the same time. I just thought it'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. You ever see those pictures of Asajj Ventress with hair?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, like, she grew out hair.
Yeah, when she's
kinda
banging
cool.
Quinlan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bang sash
So-
with old Quinny.
Mm-hmm.
If we're doing the snake around thing, I guess we'll move on to Starlight with my choice as well, which is still another strange choice. Considering I chose Plo Koon.
Of course.
What are you even doing, Bailey?
It's in the Star Wars universe. I just was like, oh, I was thinking like, oh, get the hero from nowhere and get the asshole anti-hero, and now this is like, get the super-powered individual who's not like top of the game but still is like pretty good. I was like, Plo Koon, powerful Jedi, not the best of the best, but still cool and people like them.
Caleb hates Plo Koon.
What?
Yeah, because Plo Koon's the one who discovered Ahsoka. So,
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Caleb, who'd you have for Starlight here? Is
Yes. Wait, her name's Star what?
it Starlight?
Okay. It probably is. For some reason, I don't know if my phone autocorrected, but it's Starfire on my phone, on my list.
Fire from Teen Titans.
Yeah, I didn't even question it when I saw it. I have, for my Starlight, Jen Erso, Felicity Jones.
There we go.
I don't know. She's a attractive
A girl.
female actor. Yeah, I don't know. It works.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing I really considered for that one.
Me too. Which is kind of like, oh, okay. Because I was looking through this list and I was like, well, there's like 4 girls in all of Star
Right,
Wars.
yeah. There really weren't too many to choose from.
And none of them are natural blondes.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a kind of a cheaty stretch here. I did her name. I believe it's Jodie Comer, and it's the girl who plays Rey's mom in the flashback.
Okay. Is she like a notable actress at all?
I think so.
She's
maybe
been in
more
some
of like
shows and
yeah.
films.
Jodie who?
Comer, Comer, but she's blonde, and so is Starlight. She's a girl, and so is Starlight.
It's about all right, yeah.
So
Very surface level choices. And then
mean,
there's
but-
mine, frickin' Plo Koon, this alien
Koon.
with his brains out on the side of his head.
so Star Wars, get more girls in there, man. Come on.
Careful.
Figure it
People
out.
aren't gonna like that.
Yeah.
Fuck
Get over
them.
it. Next we have Homelander. Caleb, I hope we have the same Homelander
I think
pick
we
here.
do.
I
I
think
hope
we
we
all
do.
have the same Homelander.
Do we?
Please. All right, let's do it on the count of 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Hayden
K2SO.
Christensen.
Long Krell.
Oh,
What the hell? Yeah, none of those were right. What did you say, Zach? I only heard bass.
I said Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. Okay. That would have been a good
Did you-
one.
Did you say Adam Driver, Caleb?
No, K2SO. Alan
Alan Tudyk.
Tudyk.
Alan
Yeah.
Tudyk. Oh God.
Dang.
Oh,
I really
crap.
thought maybe we would all have that. Not
We're
quite.
all
though.
3 just like way off.
Way off. I felt like the K2SO guy kind of just has like the general look of Homelander, kind of.
Yeah.
Just a little
Like
bit.
the disc, like an uncomfortable smile, but you still like. I feel like I could trust you
Right.
in
Yeah.
a very
kinda.
untrustworthy way.
You may not spoiling anything at all, but just like Homelander in general, the guy who plays him, whose name is escaping me at the moment, freaking like there's shots not just in this season but in all of it where it's like just the way he looks, it's like, oh god, I'm kind of scared. Like,
Did you know the actor who plays Homelander before this release, he actually got arrested over
Anthony
in the UK
Starr,
for
that's his name.
assaulting a dude.
was he hanging out with Ezra Miller?
Well, that's the thing. Is like everyone was like, "What is happening right now?" Because we have Ezra Miller tormenting the community of Hawaii, and then we have this guy over in the UK just getting belligerently drunk and just beating people up in the street violently. and only spending a night in jail. So it's like
He was probably method acting.
probably, or
Yeah.
maybe there's more to him as an actor than we all may realize.
Perhaps. Yeah, so we were way the hell off there. Make Jumper 2 happen, get more Hayden Christensen movies.
Man, I'm seeing some weird, like, I guess maybe spoilers for The Boys. Just when I searched who this dude was. This is probably according to the comics, of course. Just something I didn't know. That's strange. I won't say it while we're recording, but I was like, what the
Right.
hell?
Is it about Black Noir?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I doubt that happens in the show, but yeah.
Yeah, the way they're going just seems like it's
Yeah,
not
I was like,
that
okay,
route.
that's weird.
Yeah. Okay, so the next two then were ones that we could pick for ourselves.
If we're snaking back, I guess I'll go first to
Go
get
for
my
it.
choices out of the way.
Your whack choices here.
I don't know, like in the Star Wars universe, these make sense to me. I went ahead and chose my favorite character, Boba Fett. So we got Tamora Morrison in there, which would be, pretty okay. And then we've got Dash Rendar from the video games.
As
and
who, though?
The Shadows of the Empire stuff.
Who are they being?
Who are they being?
They're just two characters.
Okay,
That's
so
all
Bailey
I've
did not
written down.
understand the assignment.
Oh, wait, were we just supposed to select two characters
You were supposed
from
to
the
pick
show of
two
our choice?
boys characters of your own and then cast
Oh,
them.
well, Boba Fett would be Mother's Milk or whatever his name is.
Okay.
And Dash Rendar would be Frenchie.
Banter's milk.
There you go. I did Frenchie as well, for
I
one
did
of
too.
mine, and I did Cassian Andor, Diego Luna.
As Frenchie.
Yeah, I think the guy who plays Frenchie IRL isn't even French. So I don't know. Frenchie's kind of a kooky, weird role, and I think it could be kind of fun.
Well,
for
I'll
that.
say my Frenchie is none other than Ewan McGregor.
Hey,
Doesn't he?
Nice.
He's not. Is he not Lumiere in live action Beauty and the Beast?
he
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. There we go.
There you go. Boom. Nailed it.
It's over, Belle. I have the high ground.
My other pick was the Deep. I did the Deep,
Deep. Hashtag.
and
deep.
and I did Adam Driver for the Deep. I just think in the show, at least, he's such like a weirdo creepo,
He
and I
is.
just want to see Adam Driver just like talk to fish and be a fucking weirdo. Like I kind of pictured this version like in my head, like this version of the Deep is kind of like more of a Jason Momoa knockoff, so it would just be Adam Driver with like long hair and no shirt, just like making people uncomfortable and talking to lobster at
He's got that
grocery
same
stores.
cut going that Swallow does.
Yeah, where he's just like a
always.
refrigerator. Yeah.
My
So that was my last one.
my last one, A Train. Picked A Train, and I went with Donnie G. Let's go.
Hey, yeah, that's fun.
Love my boy Donald Glover. Yeah, A Train,
Yeah.
Donald Glover. Let's go.
Get Donald Glover anywhere, man.
Yeah.
I really
Instant
did not
success.
understand this assignment.
Clearly.
When I make the
Boba
list,
Fett and Dash Rendar. And
when I make the list for this, it's gonna be a bit of a mess.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be like actual actors, and then there's just gonna be like fan
Asajj
art of
Ventress.
Star Wars characters.
Oh lord.
Vote on your favorites, and everyone's gonna be like,
Dudes.
I want to vote for Bailey's, but I don't think he knew what he was doing.
Is he cheating? I don't know what's going on.
How could you cheat on this list if we're being honest? Like, how?
That's true. Very true. Well, I think that wraps it up for today. I gotta go watch the rest of The Boys, probably today or tomorrow. So,
Oh yeah.
I sent you guys some Asajj Ventress Quinlan Voss fan art in the chat if you want to look.
Yeah,
That's
I
saucy.
see that.
Yeah, it is a little saucy. So,
Oh, those
enjoy.
sabers are nice and extended.
I know, fully extended. Alright, well, shit, fun time. See you around. Peace. Goodbye.